All right, our next Moms on the Couch interview is with Michelle Massie and her 15-year-old son, Cole. And she's going to share a little bit about what the implications are if Obamacare is repealed and services for Cole are interrupted through the Medicare program in California.
Right now, Cole receives a few hours a day of a caregiver who comes in and helps us. The caregiver helps with lifting, bathing, dressing, activities of daily living, hygiene, all of those things, especially as Cole has grown a lot, especially this past year. He's almost 90 pounds. I really can't lift him anymore. Our house was built in 1925. We've tried to do some modifications, but it's extremely difficult. We can't afford to move. We're trying to make it work with what we have. Losing those services would be devastating for us because that's what gets Cole out in the community. It also helps with bathing, which I can't get him in and out of a regular tub anymore. All of these things that we take for granted, I wouldn't be able to do. Also, when he turns 18, if he's unable to find work for whatever reasons, he's got some learning difficulties and some reading challenges and some fine motor along with all of his other challenges. So if he's unable to find work right away, that's the really difficult part, because he will not be able to sustain himself, which could mean he needs a group home or some type of assisted living. If that's devastated or if that's taken away, he's homeless. He's got nowhere to go. If his parents are gone, because we're not going to live forever, he's on his own and he doesn't have anywhere to go. If the system becomes voucherized and he's unable to work or have any kind of income that he can spare, and the voucher's for $50 and the doctor visit is $100, he's not going to go to the doctor. He's going to be left with nothing. That voucher will just be paper.
And that's the same, the services that he gets are the same as elderly people do under Medicare, correct?
Yes, if he needed assisted living and group home, yes.
So Medicare is the same for elderly people as it is for the disabled. So that's something that people need to understand, right? Yeah, so that's where the funding comes from, is the Medicare, right?
Yes, it's in certain areas.
And then it's Medicaid at a certain income level, correct?
That's right, yes. So we are terrified. You know, if something happens to us and there's no, all of our family members are older than we are, so if there's nobody around, what? Where does he go? Where's the safety net for Cole? Mm-hmm. The assumption is that there's so much waste and so many people are taking and they're getting handouts. I would rather have the waste. I mean, I don't want waste. Nobody wants waste, but I'd rather have the waste to make sure that those who need it get served, because they don't have anything. You know, let's fix the system. Let's revamp the system, not by voucherizing it so that nobody can actually use it, but in a way that's fair to everybody, and bring it all around so that we help everybody. We're not going to be served by letting people fall through the net and say, look, you just need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
What do you think about the people that really feel that way, that not only do they not care about the fate of Medicare, but they really don't think that Cole is their problem or you're their problem at all? What do you think about that?
I get that. I get that you look at my son and all of the things that he needs. He needs, you know, special surgeries and braces and a fancy wheelchair, and he's got a service dog and all these kinds of things. Why should you have to pay for that? I understand that. The problem is that this can happen to anybody. This can happen to anybody, any day, at any time, and it is likely that it will happen to you at the end of your life. The most you spend medically, if you look at the statistics, happen in the last 30 days of your life. Nobody gets away from some form of this. This is where we're all going at a certain point. So to say, I don't want to take care of that, that's not my problem, means you're putting on the blinders and saying, this will never happen to me. The other problem with it is that if you say, okay, well, I've got money and I've saved up and I'll be okay, it's almost impossible for most of us to do that as things go on in life, and your kids need things, and your home needs things, and your car has broken down again, and you're living on next to nothing. There is no way to save for something like that. So why devastate so many lives? Let everybody keep putting a little bit in. And by the way, can I just make the point? I'm paying for it. I have paid for all that. I've been paying my whole life into this system. And yes, you may be talking about people who don't. But you know what? It's okay. I'd rather help them than not.
Michelle, what kind of medical insurance does Cole have?
Right now we have Blue Cross through my husband's work, but his secondary, which, believe me, because all of his care is out of network, and you know, there's not as much payment coming from Blue Cross as we'd like, although we're very thankful to have them. So the rest of it gets picked up by Medicare, or which actually in the state is Medi-Cal. So if you start to lose those services, you know, you're in big trouble. But here's the main thing that I wanted to say about Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, is there was the is it PCIP?
Mm-hmm.
That says he can't be refused for a pre-existing condition.
Yeah, under Affordable Care Act, as a child up until the age of 18, Blue Cross or Blue Shield? Blue Cross, they can't mess with him.
Right.
He's covered. He's already protected. But
right.
if Romney wins and he repeals it,
yes,
he could lose.
Yes.
Your insurance company could say, we're not going to cover him anymore.
That's right.
That could happen.
And Cole was born this way. So there's no time when he didn't have a pre-existing condition. There's no time that we can go back to, or the old insurance company who was insuring him before he got injured, so to speak. That doesn't exist for Cole. And that doesn't exist for a lot of people. So now we're punishing people for having a lifelong chronic condition. How does that make sense on any level? How is that compassionate on any level? How is that human on any level? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me at all. So thank you very much. Thank you, Cole.